Hi, I'm Dave Koch and welcome back for another video. This time we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about 5 common myths in the real estate photography game. Some of these you may agree with, some of them you may not. You know what? Let's have a discussion about it. This should be all about fun and hopefully having a laugh or two about it. So let's get right into it. The first myth in this list is that it takes all kinds of expensive gear and cameras to make good images. And I just find this is totally not true. Not true in real estate photography, not true in any photography. I once won a Best of State award for a picture I took with an iPhone 3G. You know, it really is, it's about the capture, it's about the image, it's about capturing a good image. And you don't need expensive gear to capture images in good light. You have to have good judgment, you have to be a good photographer, but you don't necessarily need super expensive gear. I think you will also find that the gear you need to enter real estate photography as a professional is really not all that high. You don't need a high-end full-frame camera. You certainly don't need a Hasselblad. You can get by with an APC camera, crop sensor, maybe even a Micro Four Thirds. It's not about the gear. It's about your vision and what you can do with the gear, your professionalism, your experience, and how good you are at editing. So let's throw that one right out the window. You do not need expensive gear to be a good photographer. The second myth we need to dispel is that you need to shoot everything at 14 millimeter or 10 millimeter if you're shooting crop sensor. That's just too wide for just about any shot. I will occasionally creep down into the 14s or 15s if I'm shooting a very tight bathroom. But really you should be shooting in the 16 to maybe 20 millimeter range. When you're shooting that wide, yes, you're making a room look bigger, but in a lot of ways, you're making a room look smaller. Because it's so wide, everything in it is smaller. Let's take an example of a shot. A typical 14 millimeter shot is going to have 3 walls in it. You're going to have the main wall, the back wall, and then probably that third wall right there. Well, once you include that third wall with your super wide 14 millimeter, you're suddenly defining how big that room is. And that's why I tend to not want to do it. If you can come in a little bit and not show that third wall where it begins, all of a sudden the viewer has to decide how big that room is. You're not defining how big that room is with your picture. The viewer is using their imagination, and they're more than likely going to make that room a lot bigger than what you did when you included that third wall. So shooting 14 millimeter and staying there, not a really good idea, even though a lot of people say that's what you need to do to make good real estate photographs. The third myth is, oh, we can fix it in post. And sometimes you can. But if you don't know how to fix it in post, I wouldn't rely on being able to fix it in post. I think a lot of times you spend a lot more time in post fixing things than you would if you actually just do it on site. For instance, if you're looking at a mixture of light, like daylight and tungsten, and you need to fix that in post and you don't know how, you're pretty much stuck. It's much better, much faster generally to fix it on site. If you're looking at an object that can't be moved, it's too heavy or it's nailed down or something like that, your options are limited. But to just go in and say, oh, we'll fix it in post, the editor will fix it, more than likely you're going to end up with a subpar picture when you could have had a superior picture by actually dealing with it on site. The next myth is getting into real estate because you think it's the pathway to fast and easy money. It's not easy and it's not fast. It will take you a year or more to build up a clientele where you're starting to get enough business to even make a living at being a real estate photographer. That's not exactly fast or easy. If you want to create a business and your goal is long term, I think real estate photography is a great opportunity. And I think as you work at it and work at it, you will find that you're making more and more money. But fast money, not at all. And easy money, you may look and say, oh, you're getting $600, $800, $1,000 for a shoot, but you're putting a lot of time and effort into that shoot too. At the point that you're charging in the thousands of dollars for a real estate shoot, you're also lighting, you're also doing a lot of post-production, and you are getting that money because you are doing a lot more effort. So it's not fast or easy money, but it is a lot of fun. I love what I do. I wouldn't do anything else in the world. And the final myth is that good photos are all you need to be a success in this business. And I'll tell you what, being a good photographer helps, but that is not the pathway to success in this business. The pathway to success is to be a good business person. That's the one thing a lot of people, especially newbies in this field, forget. You've got to run it like a business. Having good pictures is not enough. In fact, I know a lot more decent photographers, adequate, even mediocre photographers who are good at business, who make a lot more money than the really, really good photographers, because the really good photographers don't know marketing, they don't know budgeting, they don't know business. And those are what you really need to know to be a success as a real estate photographer. So it's good to be able to shoot great photos, but that's not the be all to end all. You need to be all around good at business, good at marketing, and good at a lot of other things that you're going to discover down when you become a real estate photographer. So don't think it's all about good pictures. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, this is just my opinion right now. If you have a different opinion, let's talk about it. Just because I say something doesn't make it so. Let's discuss things and figure out what really does work and what really doesn't work, and what really are the myths about real estate photography. You got new ones? Let me know. Otherwise, I hope you had fun and I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, may your next image be your best image.